Ryan.
Ryan.
I'm Daniel.
Daniel.
I'm John.
John. Perfect. Well, I'm Alicia. I'm with the In Crowd zine. We're like an up-and-coming entertainment, music, online zine. So just talking with different artists and things, knowing what's going on. So ask you guys a couple questions. That's okay?
Totally.
Perfect. So how's the tour going so far? I see it's been like a week or so you've been on the road. So how's it going?
I think this is show 8.
Okay.
We are ready for a day off and a nap. I don't think there's enough caffeine in the world to cure what we got right now.
But that being said, the tour has been nothing short of incredible and mind-blowing for us, because we did not expect the reaction that we have been getting with, shows selling out, rooms being upgraded. We are so, over the moon with how things have been going so far.
Yeah, so when you guys saw how fast it was going and like shows were getting upgraded, like what was that reaction like? Was it scary? Was it exciting? Was it both? Like what was the reaction?
Shocking.
Yeah, disbelief. Like I did not. I will always remember our booking agents Nina and Jason at APA. They said you guys should play Numos in Seattle, which is a beautiful venue. It's one I've been going to for a lot of years, and the capacity I want to say is 650. And I said, can we do the one that's like 300 capacity? And they said, no. And I said, okay, well, you are going to be sorry when it's half sold. And then it sold out. So I guess the moral of the story here is trust your booking agents here. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We booked the whole tour like aiming at like 200 to 400 capacity rooms, and they started selling out, and we got like, this tour is crazy because there's we're playing like some like DIY punk art spaces that are like 200, 300 cap, and then we're also playing like 1,300 cap rooms where like, the Wonder Years played 2 days after us. Like, very strange to be in the same rooms as bands that size.
So I saw you guys just announced you signed with Thriller Records. How has that experience been? The fans' reactions, just getting that announcement out there. How was that overall?
Yeah, we are so happy to be part of the Thriller family. That's a very good
answer question.
I mean, but truthfully though, it's we are so thankful that we have a label that truly believes in our art and what we're doing, and they've been nothing short of wonderful people in helping us achieve our next level that we want to get to.
Yeah, and when we were shopping for new labels for this next record, it was very clear after talking to as many other bands that have known the team there and known all the other labels we were talking to, that everyone at Thriller, like basically no one had anything bad to say about any of the people working at Thriller. Everyone we talked to just said Bob is great and he's a man of his word, and he very much cares about the long-term vision of his bands. Not short-sighted, doesn't care about what's happening in the next couple days. It's about what's happening over the next couple years, and how do we turn this whole thing into like a career that's that will last a long time. And they really like are allowing us to see our vision through, which we're very excited about.
So speaking of the new record, have you started thinking about what the new record will look like? Do you have anything in the works, or you want to keep it quiet? Anything?
Yeah, we actually took a trip down to LA recently and wrote a bunch of new music. We have a lot of instrumentals. There's still work to be done, but we definitely have a very good idea of what our record's going to look like. We even have some ideas of what the record will be called. I won't say yet, because we still have some internal discussion about, making sure we all are happy and really, because I think for us it's important to stamp the era of what the band is. What era are we in right now? And that is something that we want to get across with the name of the record and the music on it.
So this is your third record, if I'm correct, you're working on right now?
Yep.
How is this working on number 3 different from like number 1 to number 2? Like, what was your mindset different, process different, just overall?
Mindset.
Yeah, mindset was very interesting. We we're very much used to kind of doing it ourselves and really, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? One thing that changed drastically is that we were allotted resources. And those resources have basically allowed us to really try a lot of new things that we had never tried before. And I think it was a huge learning experience for all of us in the band, about like what things work for us, what things do not work for us. And ultimately, like, it's been a really enriching experience to do this next, writing this next record, because there's so many things that we hadn't even thought of that, like, now we're able to, because we are a lot of these resources, we can now attempt to try them.
And I think there was a lot more pressure with this record than there was with the previous one, because when we were writing Slow Bloom, we didn't really have anything to lose, because we weren't we weren't that big, I guess. That's the best way to put it. So we kind of just decided we need to do whatever we want. Like, if we're not going to make a living playing music, at least we should write the music that we think is sick and just do whatever we want, instead of trying to write a record that we think people would like. But now that people are like listening and people care and like Slow Bloom, it just feels like there's a little bit more pressure, which, good and bad.
Yeah, I definitely feel like during the writing process there was a lot more, I don't want to use the word doubt, but I know in my heart I have to do the best that I can to try to, because realistically Slow Bloom was the best we could do at the time, and now it's like, oh, now people like us, I got to figure out how to keep them happy, and then not only keep them happy, but also get new fans involved as well. So it's been a lot, I'll be writing a lot and be like, it's not quite where it needs to be. It's been a lot more pressure in that way, but I know that that pressure will yield good results.
Speaking of like the growth with Slow Bloom, from your first record to Slow Bloom, what was like your reaction to seeing the reaction to that album? Like how people were loving it, and people were like coming to your shows and streaming and talking about you guys. Like, what was that overall experience like?
I think we were all ecstatic because Slow Bloom was such a departure. Because I joined the band like kind of late. I joined after Better Off. So I joined like a pop punk band, and I remember hearing these two songs like, yeah, this is awesome, but like Slow Bloom isn't a pop punk album, so we were afraid that the fans that we did have from that record wouldn't like it, and to see how like universally well received it was very validating. Just knowing like, oh, we actually do know what we like, and what we like actually other people like.
Yeah.
It was great.
Even kind of piggybacking on that, I think there was a certain authenticity that I think people could just pick up on, which I think is really cool. Because again, like, we decided for Slow Bloom, let's just do whatever the hell we want to do, because we're not making money anyway. So who cares? So let's just enjoy the process, enjoy the art. And it turns out people enjoy that more than trying to guess what they want. Just do what you want to do, and your people will find you.
That's a good tagline right there. Your people will find you.
What, as far as musical influences go, who are like your biggest musical influences, or just influences in general when you go into writing and working on music?
Yeah, we have a lot of different. We all have very eclectic tastes and come from different, varying heavy music backgrounds. But that being said, one of our biggest influences, songwriting-wise, come from Don Broco from the UK. The album Technology specifically for me was a big turning point, because it was a record I listened to and I remember thinking like, wow, they're just doing whatever the fuck they want. I'm sorry, am I allowed to curse?
I will bleep it if we need to. Yeah, you're good. We're new at this, so we're figuring it out.
They can do whatever the hell they want, and it's so cool to see like they just did what they want and people really enjoyed it. And I was like, wow, so we don't have to pigeonhole ourselves to just one genre. You can really just pull from anything that you really think is cool.
Yeah, another one that's a really big influence too is Issues. And I think the thing, like, those two bands don't sound anything alike, but the thing that they have in common is that they have a very good, like a very unique identity, and lots of other bands try to sound like them, but when you hear a Don Broco song or an Issue song, like, you know who it is. So they have a very clear-cut identity, and no one really sounds like them. They're trying to do something new, and I don't want to be the band that says like, oh, we're doing something new, but like, we're trying to to create something that hasn't been done before, instead of just like rehashing what other bands have done.
Yeah, and then one other band too I'd like to throw in there as a mention is a band from Japan called Polka Dot Stingray. Their songwriting and their musicality and their melodies are so incredible, and I think for me I actually look a lot to what a lot of international bands are doing, because that is like it's so different than what we do over here in America. That like it's just great to hear these other influences and be like, oh wow, like we're not America feels so behind, so it's great to kind of like pull from other parts of the world.
Let me see. What are like, if you could have any dream collab in the world, music-wise, who would be like your absolute dream music collab? Alive or dead?
Oh, that's a whole other.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do Alive. Let me make it easier. Alive.
I would love to do something with Dua Lipa.
Okay.
I think of all the like major pop artists, she has the most unique voice. Her songs have a very distinct style, and I'm just a huge fan.
I would say The Weeknd. I think I really loved a lot of his early work. I love his new stuff too, but his early work, the trilogy is like such this incredible record with so much like. There's so much like emotion in it, and I would love to just be able to like, how did you channel that and get it across in your music in a way that wasn't corny?
I think Hans Zimmer. If we could make a song Hans Zimmer, that'd be insane. Getting back man's production.
Okay. Just one last question. 5 years from now, where would you like to see the band to be? Would you like to see it still making music, touring? Overall, 5 years from now. Ultimate goals.
I would love. So, I think we all have kind of like slightly different views on this because of the roles that we play in the band. So, for me, as like the primary business guy, I go to like, I would love to be all of us doing the band full time, no outside jobs, where this is like the number one focus, and being at the point where like we can support ourselves and our significant others solely from the band.
Yeah, that sounds like a great goal. That's really, I think the dream for almost every artist is just to be able to create and not have to worry about other outside sources.
Yeah, I don't think there's a world where in the next 5 years any of us are like, I don't think I'd still be touring or making music. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Oh, and I'd love to be able to like, to get to the point where we could afford like touring in a bus. That would so
be nice.
We're in a van on this tour, and we are like sardines. Yeah, we are packed up there. So love to get to the point where we're playing, maybe 2,000, 3,000 capacity venues. That feels like a pipe dream way off in the distance, but lofty goal.
Awesome. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Any upcoming releases or projects, or any socials you all want to shout out so people can follow you?
Yeah, we'll probably have a new record by the end of the year.
Okay.
We don't know yet. It's mostly written. We just got to go record it. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. And yeah, Spotify, the ones.
Catch us on tour Census Fail.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that you guys added some shows on, so yeah.
I don't know when this comes out. Maybe we'll on the road.
Yeah, we'll see. This is not our day job, so we gotta work it in.
Yeah, Census Fail tour, May 12th through the 20-something.
Sounds right.
I forget. Something like that.
We'll be around.
Well, thank you guys so much, and I look forward to the show tonight and hearing the new record and everything. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.